Well, hello, and welcome to another episode of the Zero Hours. It's me, Mikey Brown. It is Friday, August the 16th, 2024. Again, another busy week. This is at least one episode I'm doing this weekend. Trying to keep it to a couple major subjects, and we'll see how that goes. Cohort with me tonight. Gypsy Mae Brown, if you hear her scurrying around, that is her. The lower level of the TZH compound, podcasting compound tonight. So, let's get right into it. Two major things, if you think about it, two really big major contributors to unrest in the world over the course of time has always been race and religion. And we have a plethora of crazy stuff going on all over the world. And, usually it involves the usual suspects, which is race, religion, conflicts, attitudes, chaos, whatever you want to call it from that. We'll go to the race one. A couple things on that. I was watching a guy named Jason Whitlock this week. And if you don't know who Jason Whitlock is, he's a football analyst turned talk show host, was a football player at one time. He's an older black man, probably a little older than me or my age, somewhere in that area. And he pretty much calls people out for what they do and what they say and all that good shit. So I was watching the show, and he mentioned the Mount Rushmore of racial hoaxes that were perpetrated on us, say, the last handful of years. He put on Mount Rushmore. Of course, Georgie Fentanyl Boy Floyd had to be on there. One of my old-time favorites, Breonna Taylor, made the list. My namesake, but nothing like me, from Missouri, Michael Brown on the Mount Rushmore. And of course, the one that kind of started it all a few years back, Trayvon Martin. I thought it was interesting that a man of that, that he's a black man to start with, but that he's of that status, of that celebrity that he is, would come out and say such a thing. And it goes to show you that not everybody's blinded to the whole idea of staying with what you are and who you know, because like Democrats like to vote Democrat. The blacks are always on the side of the blacks, and Muslims are always on the side of the Muslims, even if they don't agree per se or particularly like how the things went down. I just thought it was interesting. He had a lot to go through on that, and I thought it was pretty cool. Not like say, oh yeah, we'll score one for the white people. No, that ain't what I mean. Because the anti-whiteness in the United States and across the world really is really getting annoying for me, because especially in the United States, where we're damn near 70% of the population. Why do we get shorthanded, blamed for everything, when a lot of the stuff is out of our control just because I was born a certain way? It's kind of like the same shit they complain about. It's kind of like the N-word. If you use the N-word, you could get beat to death, and there would be very little repercussions from that, because it's, he used the N-word. Well, where's my trigger word? I've always wondered that. Where is the white man's trigger word that gives me free reign to just go crazy and say, well, they called me a name? Thin skin, man. It's like, I can't believe how thin-skinned. But it goes on. There's a lady here, Emily Goldstein, which, okay, Jewish. And the Jewish is another, we'll get into, it's a big religious thing, but she wrote an article about diversity. And read the headline. I thought this is bullshit. It's unbelievable. She said, yes, diversity is about getting rid of white people. Not only that, and in parentheses, and that's a good thing. So they want to depopulate the world, the world and the country. They want it to be the white people. The replacement theory and stuff that you hear, yeah, I get that's just a theory and it could be craziness, but it doesn't look that way. But here we go. This stuff like that, come on. Don't you get tired of it as white people? It's like, okay, the other day at the Olympics, after the Olympics, our good buddy LeBron James. He was getting out of his car, and a young fan, super fan, little kid, wanted to get a picture with him, and he pretty much pushed him out of the way, kind of said, don't do that, and back the fuck up and get out of the way. This was a little white kid. You imagine what would have happened if he, as a black man, would have done that to another black kid? The black community would have came for his head, but they just laugh it off because it's a white kid that gets bamboozled by LeBron. But I mean, fucking LeBron James is such a dick anyway that it's hard to even take him seriously. But some of this stuff is just getting out of control. It's like out in Los Angeles. The looting and rioting and all that stuff's gone crazy. But there was a video on X that showed, I don't know, I got in here about 10 kids I see. All the usual suspects. Just fucking this manhandling a fucking 7-Eleven. Just taking what they want. No remorse at all. No thinking about it. Just doing it. And I see so many videos. The same thing. That, I can go through a few here because I have a few. Oh, here we go. There's a manhunt in the Bronx the other day for 24 Slattery, whatever it's called, and S Block gang members who are drill rappers. They're wanted for felonies like murder. Slaughtery and S Block is what they're known as. And they're linked to all these shootings and attempted murders and blah, blah, blah. It says on their report here that 19 of them are trigger pullers. Predominantly across the board, they pulled the trigger more than once. I mean, I know New York's fucked up. And it's not, I'm not going to sit here and say just black people, just immigrants cause crime in New York. I know that's fucking that'd be stupid to say. It's not true. I know that. But when the NYPD detectives are coming out and saying that these gangs here are predominant, damn near all people of color, usual suspects, I call them. It's like they're competing each other. It's like who can shoot the most. Just don't give a fuck. They just act like it's no big deal. Thank God I don't live in New York because, I don't want to do that. But you're talking broad daylight shit. They're saying broad daylight. 15-year-old girl just lets off fucking 15, 20 rounds on the street. And it's like the lack of empathy or caring by the minorities in this country are overwhelming. And then the school buses in the way, they don't give a fuck. Kids are in the way, they don't give a fuck. It's that kind of shit that should scare everybody. That that just on a whim they'll do this shit. And I'm not saying, like I said, it's not 100%. But when you look at the violent crime in the country, who's doing it? It's way more per capita than the white majority that is doing all these violent crimes. Here's another one. This lady walked into a store, and a couple men flirted with her. Okay, fuck, you don't know that the girl's married or got a boyfriend or whatnot. Typical behavior. You flirt with her. She gets back to the car and tells her boyfriend about it. Well, instead of just blowing it off and saying, them fucking assholes, or going in and saying, hey, dude, that's not cool. Not cool to hit on my woman or whatever. Boyfriend goes into the store to confront him, like pissed off about it. And the dudes that flirted with the girl just fucking pew, 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 pew. Shot the motherfucker. Now, they didn't kill him. But you can't even stand up for yourself anymore because you're going to have the fear of getting shot. It's not like you can just throw hands anymore, hardly. And if it is, God be trolled, if there's two of them and one of you, guess what? It's not going to be one-on-one. It's just not. And the shoplifting all over the country is out of control. The entitlement by some of these people, both the immigrants and the people of color, what you want to call them, whatever. I see where a guy went crazy the other day in a subway because it wouldn't take his fucking EBT card. So don't be going to Subway when you have an EBT card. But that's the norm now, especially when the government's handing it out to the people coming across the border illegally. This guy actually lost his shit because he didn't have his EBT card would not work. I mean, come on. And I know they say, well, the plan was, all along the plan has been to throw these poor people, these people of color, the minorities, throw them into these urban jungle areas and let them fight it out, keep them down, keep them stupid. It's sad, and it really is sad. 84% of the population, minority-wise, a big chunk of the ones that are good are probably the Asians. That's just not being racist or anything, prejudice. That's just the truth. But 84% of minorities can't even read at, grade level. They can't. Because they're out running the streets, running amok, causing fucking problems everywhere else. And you can't go a day. You can't go a day. Turn it on X, turn it on TikTok. Show me a day where you go on either one of those sites and spend 20 minutes. Find me where there's not a big blowout brawl or an entitlement freaking out with the cops or shooting or something ridiculous. It's rampant, and it's the way it is. And not only that, you really think about it. As white people in the United States, and I know I get flack, and it'd be okay, it'd be all right to get, I don't care, because we're being systematically programmed to hate our fucking selves, to hate that we're white, that we supposedly have all this privilege, which I've said a million times is a myth, but we're actually being programmed at this point to hate ourselves for being white, that we should have all this guilt, we should offer all these apologies for being born white because we're just got it made over here. We run amok, we're fine, we're all good. But it's not even that. It's bad that the whites are being kind of programmed to do that. But all the other ethnicities are being taught to hate us too. We're the white devils. We're the white, cause of their problems. We're everything wrong with the world. As they're getting systematically having that pushed in their brain. And it's bullshit. When you get slammed on so much and, just blamed for everything, you get tired of it and you say, no, I'm tired of getting fucking blamed for this shit. I know I'm tired of it, man. I am beyond fucking tired of taking the brunt as the problem. When all I do is go to work, pay taxes, pay my bills, and try to exist without fucking bothering anybody. I don't loot. I don't rob. I don't burn shit to the ground. I don't, I don't act entitled. I know what I do. I work for what I have. I get tired of them fuckers thinking I should start feeling like I got to apologize for it. It's like things aren't going to end well for us if we just keep taking the shit. There's going to come a pushback. And it's not going to just be Southerners, hillbillies, rednecks. It's going to have to be something spectacularly bad. And then it's like, I really don't want to see that. I don't know why we just can't. I definitely don't feel bad about, I'm not going to have it systematically. They can tell me whatever they want systematically or whatnot. I'm not ashamed of being white. I'm proud to be white. I have zero guilt about being white. I offer no apologies for being white. So fucking get over it. And if you're a different person, a person of a different color, a different melanin in your skin, have all the pride you want. But don't think you're entitled. I don't think I'm entitled. I don't know. I'm just getting kind of sick. Getting really sick of people thinking I owe them something. I don't know you fuck nothing. I don't know nobody nothing. Nobody nothing. And it's not just America. I mean, you go over to places, there's this guy, this former Prime Minister of Scotland, First Minister, I should say. His name's Humza Yousaf. Whatever. He wants Elon Musk taken out. You know, he's like, he's one of the most dangerous men on the planet, he said, because of censorship. And he says that Elon uses his billions of dollars to amplify the far-right white supremacy ideology. Come on, fuck you. Fuck you. White supremacy. Because we're proud of our race, we're white supremacists. But if you're proud of your race, you're just a good old Muslim guy. Or an Indian or wherever the fuck you're from originally. You're not Scottish. He's the same one that went on a rant about because Scotland's 96% white, but all the people in government were white. Well, fuck yeah. It's kind of like here. If it's 70% to 14%, why should it be equal anywhere? You're only going to have 14% should have to fill voids. But every day you hear, even on football, baseball managers, well, you know, there's 32 teams in the league and they only have 10 black managers. That's not fair. That's not equal. It's over quota. That's over quota for your fucking population. Give me a fucking break. It's ridiculous. It really is. I don't know. And that's my spiel on the whole. And I think the race, when it gets blowed up, like when Georgie Boy had, they had the whole BLM spiel and all that good shit. There might come a time where it gets worse than that. You never know. I think a lot depends on November. It really does. It's not going to be good either way, but unfortunately, fortunately, but unfortunately, the right doesn't go off on a fucking rager at the drop of a hat like the left does. So if Trump would lose, you're going to see some unrest for sure. But if Trump wins, you're going to see 2020 times 10. It's going to be nuts. They're not going to be able to stand that a so-called black woman lost an election to Donald Trump. It's just not going to fucking work out well. So just be prepared in November. It's going to go bad either way. It really is. But globalization is another thing that they think the white people are just trying to take over globally. But most of the countries that are kind of rejecting globalism, yeah, a lot of them are mostly white. You look at Serbia and Hungary, not so much. Romania, Poland, Switzerland, minus Satan, of course. Belarus, El Salvador. I mean, it's not all just white people that don't want globalism, but the white man gets blamed for it because they think, the do-nothings that want everything are the ones that have the biggest problem with white people. It's just how it is. The left is brainwashed in, and they brainwash all their people to hate the whitey, especially a conservative whitey. And a liberal woman is about the worst. A liberal left woman is about the worst kind of human you can be, because it's Karen on testosterone, just going crazy, going apeshit. So I want to go to religion for a couple minutes, because a lot of these problems we've been having the last few months, Palestine, the whole fucking Israel deal. I mean, that's all over religion. They can't get along because of religion. And, well, I believe this, I believe that, and it's a big fight. We still got idiots that the other day, multiple pro-Palestinian protesters blocked 405 freeway in Los Angeles for a long fucking time. It's like, okay, why? What does that do? They keep demanding, the ceasefire, and they're demanding now that all elected Democrats ahead of the DNC would call for the ceasefire. DNC starts here probably Monday. I don't know. I don't keep track of that like I should. But, I mean, we still have these nut jobs going out and protesting for that. While here, other words, like in Minnesota, I don't know what the fuck going on in Minnesota. They're crazy. But, Elon brotherfucker Omar won her House seat again. And it wasn't really close. It was like 56-44. But here's the fucked up thing. She won the 5th district, but the polls closed at 8 o'clock in Minnesota. Okay? At 8:15, they had 0%. At 8:30, 0% counted. At 8:45, 0% counted. 9 o'clock, still 0% counted. Okay? 9:22, they had 5% counted. At 9:37 p.m., they claimed to have 99.5% counted. Totally 100% legit. Nothing at all suspicious, right? Just congratulations to brotherfucker. Did it again. They want to be Somalia up there anyway, but, that doesn't sound fishy-dishy. That I don't know what the fuck does. I really don't. I have no idea what it does. There's a guy doing a speech the other day that claimed that his quote was, "The future is ours. Islam is going to spread." This is an American in America. He said, "The West, East, North, South, it's all going to be Muslim. Islam's not going anywhere. The victory is going to be for the believers." So fucking Islam, Muslim, whatever you want to call them, think they run the show. They think they're right, and they think then they do whatever they want. England became Muslim, overran with it, and now they're, they got prayer rugs in the middle of the fucking day and all this horse. I'm just going to go on record and say I think Muslim, Islam, Allah, all that stuff is horse shit. Because, I am a Christian, and I will get into what my exact beliefs are here in a minute. But so this guy's a San Diego Muslim preacher that's saying that. So it's deep in our country already. It's not like England status, but it is. Kind of, sort of. Then you got, the whole Israel-Palestine thing. You got other countries getting involved. You got the Sunnis and the Shiites and all this different religion. It's all religious bullshit that causes all this fucking crap and war and everything else. So the other day, Hezbollah, now they fired 30 rockets at Israel from Lebanon. The Iron Dome didn't work. Some of them got through. So, of course, the U.S. has to jump right in and be the buddy. Hey, we'll give you. They're going to send, they had USS Abraham Lincoln accelerated to the Middle East. The USS Georgia got dispatched to the region. So it can't be good. But the Iron Dome got penetrated, and that was a surprise. I really thought it would just be fireworks again like it did last time. I really did. But it wasn't. Here's another one. It was a Muslim woman that calls for jihad, the holy war bullshit. You really think that any kind of a god or a spirit or a being up there would want you to call out war to kill other people because they don't believe exactly like you? That doesn't sound like a loving, kind of entity to me. This lady, this thing, whatever, calls for a victory of martyrdom. She wants the martyrs to come out. The quest to erase the West. They all want to kill us. They all want to kill the West. But yet we're giving them money. We're letting them come here and fucking invade our country, of course, by design. Knowing that they fucking hate us. Knowing that they hate white people especially. And we're just supposed to sit and say, well, we're not supposed to get angry because we'll get called, Islamophobic or Muslim phobic, whatever they call it, and we're white supremacists, we're racist, the same old fucking shit. She calls Westerners a disease that needs sucked out. This is what this idiot bitch Muslim was saying. And that's what she is, an idiot bitch. Sorry, not sorry about that. Terrorists are like this bitch. They're just given a free pass. We don't even go after them. They're in our country. We don't get rid of them. Brother fucker talks about making Somalia great. She cares more about Somalia than she does the United States. But we don't give a fuck. We just let it roll on. We should care, but we don't. At least the people that should care don't. Guys like me that have limited capacity of what they can do, yeah, we care a lot. But apparently that don't matter. We're concerned citizens, and if we say anything bad about a Muslim, we get hate crimes thrown against us. If I walked up to a Muslim person and said something to them that they found derogatory, they just lock me up. They wouldn't care. But she can say she wants to erase me from the fucking earth. That's her freedom of speech. But if I say, fuck you, bitch, bring your shit, I will fucking wreck you, then I'm a hate speech because she just happens to be Muslim and I'm the good old privileged, overprivileged white guy. And I'm tired of that shit. I'm just done with it. I'm beyond done fucking with these idiots. There was one I forgot about, race, the race thing, and my buddy Joy Reid. What a dingbat. This lady is a fucking tard. I don't care what you think. I don't care I don't give a shit what color she is. If she was white, she talked the way she did, she's a fucking tard. It's nothing to do with color, but she makes it about that. She's talking about Trump here. She says that they will, including me, because I'm voting for Trump and I'm a MAGA believer, I guess, what you would say, saying that we will nationalize our long-term goal of ending anti-white racism. Well, fuck yeah. Why wouldn't we want to strive to end the anti-white racism? But she's pissed because it gives, that's her big talking point. That's her favorite pastime, this lady, is talking anti-white shit. And how white people are bad and blacks should run the world and run the country. Black women especially should run everything. But she loves to hate on whitey. And now she's afraid if Trump wins, that's going to get taken away from her because she's not going to be able to express herself. You've been expressing yourself. You've been saying it, and you're not in prison yet. I mean, she thinks there's a plot in this Project 2025, which is fucking stupid. It's not a Trump plan. It's just something people made up that happened to support Trump. I mean, it's whatever. But she's saying they're undermining black farmers and this. She said all kinds of shit. It's like, the only thing you can do at that point is say, well, bless your bless your fucking cold, empty heart. Because, I mean, what the fuck, lady? You're nuts. You're nuts. I don't know, man. And it's all kinds of crazy shit with race, and it's not just race and religion are the big parts, but then you got the whole transgender versus the not transgender, like the Olympics. You know, how many times are we going to hear about this Aman Khalif winning the gold medal in women's boxing? Here's my take on that. The whole thing is if that person has a Y chromosome, they shouldn't have been allowed to box in the women's division. I don't care if supposedly born a female, that's fine. You're born a female, but you have a Y chromosome. It'd be like doping if everybody else got the dope with testosterone to make it a level playing field. I've went over that. They try now, they're showing like all these, tried to give her a makeover to make her look more feminine and like, oh, here, you know, she is a woman. She is this and that. It's at this point, I don't even give a fuck. But it shouldn't, if she has that chromosome, the Y chromosome, it shouldn't have been allowed. Yeah, I don't know what was more irritating. Really, I mean, it was kind of stupid, but it was just why. This part was why. The break dancer from Australia, this Ray Gunn. So basically, she got her country, talked her country, and got her and her husband a free trip to France to participate in the Olympics. She got a 0 score. It was like a mockery of the whole thing. Yeah, but I don't disagree 100% because what the fuck is breakdancing doing in the Olympics? It shouldn't be anywhere near the Olympics. It's the dumbest shit I ever saw. But I'm surprised that they didn't say something about her being a woman, that she should have a right to express herself, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, nutty shit. What in the Olympics, when we're talking about the Olympics, here's one for race, I guess, we would kind of call it. But Brittany Griner, I haven't talked about BG for a while. Here's another person that probably has a Y chromosome. I would say there's a real good fucking chance. If you've ever heard her talk, pretty deep voice, similar build to the boxer, no boobs whatsoever, has pictures with her shirt off, has no boobs. Yeah, I know they're born that way. I get it. Okay, if they're born that way, I understand. But still, I don't understand how a Y chromosome could be in a sport that's supposed to be not Y chromosome. It's supposed to be XX. Right? I don't get the whole thing, but at least when the anthem played at the Olympics, the girls' women's basketball won the gold for the United States. She had her hand on her heart, and she did shed a few tears as the anthem was played and the flag was raised in Paris. So maybe she learned her lesson. Maybe, just maybe, she has a little more respect for what she has as a black female in this country. Maybe she doesn't see it as anti-whiteness now. That she got out of a Russian prison and was able to come back to her home country where things are a lot better than a Russian prison. She refused to stand when the BLM shit was going on, and now all of a sudden, maybe lesson learned? I don't know. BG might have learned her lesson. You never know. But around the world, though, freedom of speech is another thing. Elon Musk had, the white supremacist Elon Musk, and he was going to interview another white supremacist, supposedly, and Donald Trump. They did this on X the other night. Millions and millions of people were on live, or at least 1 million plus were on live as it was going on, and millions upon millions, maybe more, have listened to the full interview since. And it blew up the internet. What do you call blowing up the internet? But before that, the European Commissioner was threatening Elon Musk over doing that interview. So basically, the EU over there is interfering with our free speech. Kind of like the fucks in London that said if we retweet or anything, or if we dog their government over here, they're going to extradite us there and charge us with fucking crimes over there. Fuck you. How well did that work out for you last time when you tried to fuck with us? It didn't. It didn't work out. So basically, that's a diplomatic area there. That's a diplomatic fucking breach. Really. With the Western values we have, free speech is pretty important. All why I'm sitting here doing it now. They wanted to dent that. Why is that? You want to know why. I kind of wonder why. Why is the EU even fucking getting involved? Why would they demand censorship of Donald Trump, of all people? They're in the EU. Well, currently we're being destroyed by a globalist agenda of open borders, the censorship, tyranny, all that good shit. But the World Economic Forum has once said that Donald Trump would be the final death blow to their global agenda, their 2030 agenda. So the EU's fucking agenda gets blown out of the water by Donald Trump, gets destroyed, gets fucking mashed. They don't like that. So there was an advisor at the World Economic Forum that said, if Trump becomes president again in 2024, it will be the final death blow to the New World Order, the global order, to what remains of the global order. That was an advisor to Klaus Schwab that said it. So they're doing anything and everything. It's funny because last week Trump was in a plane, had a hydraulic leak or something. He had to emergency land on his way to Montana. He had to drop off a little early. Then he drove the rest of the way to his destination. Today, it was another fucking plane malfunction with J.D. Vance's plane. It's like they're almost not trying to hide it anymore. I mean, they shot him once, couldn't kill him. Now they're doing 2 plane issues. And it's like a Boeing plane. Do you trust Boeing to fucking be? Yeah, no, they don't want Trump in there. They might have to pay taxes or something crazy like that. But I mean, we got it bad here. But the problem with my biggest problem with that is, and we're in the United States, nobody's coming to help us. I mean, we're doing all this shit for Israel. We do all this shit for other countries. Who's coming to save us if we need help? Who is it? If things go sideways, who's coming to rescue us? There's nobody. Who's going to airdrop us food? Who's going to drop ammunition for us? Who's going to give us medical supplies? Basically, there's no place to escape. There's no other place to escape for freedom. We're in it. We're in the country that does. And it's getting threatened at this point. So it's like, what? Who's going to fucking save our ass? Why do we always have to be the savior? And in other parts of the world, it goes off the rails too. I mean, look at Argentina. They're doing really well down there. That new president. Well, the vice president, if the gun wouldn't have jammed, the vice president would be dead right now. They put it inches from her head, pulled the trigger, and it fucking jammed. Or you'd have an assassination in Argentina. So the lefty kind of politics are going all out on this shit. They're going all out. And it's like, the UK has fucked up with this. Their people, or at least some of them, are fighting back over there. Because he's doing his part of the World Economic Forum shit. The replacements with the Muslim and for the English people. They hate this Kerr, whatever his name is. And he went into a pub over in the UK, and the owner fucking freaked out of this pub and kicked him out. He wanted him out. He was trying to get to him, pushing the whatever Secret Service type people that the Prime Minister of England has. He was going crazy. But they're treating radical Muslims over there like the fucking forefathers of the country, and they're treating their own citizens like shit. So the citizens of England are starting to say, I've had enough of this fucking stuff. They're sick of it. That guy was one example. He's like, I don't want you anywhere near my fucking business, dude. I don't care who you are, prime minister or whatever the fuck you say it is. And you got, the Taliban in Afghanistan. Had their little parade the other day, flaunting our $85 billion worth of fucking weaponry that was left behind by Piss Pants and his shitty administration. The most embarrassing withdrawal from a country that we've ever had in this United States. It's just Afghans are right back to where they started. The fucking Taliban runs the shit. You got the World Health Organization. They're trying to scare us again with the monkeypox. All that good jive. Oh, I tell you. Brazil the other day. Brazil had the plane crash. You remember the plane crash that killed a bunch of cancer doctors? Well, there was eight cancer doctors that dedicated their lives. They were really studying these turbo cancers, right? Well, there were 6 leading oncologists, the big dogs, and 2 resident medics, I should say, out of the 8. There were 62 people on board. This plane came down. Everybody kind of saw that video. It's like, I thought it was weird at first because I said, why is this random plane crash in Brazil? It's getting an awful lot of play. Well, I didn't know about the doctors till afterwards, of course. They were going to Sao Paulo for a big conference over there where they were going to present their findings that mRNA and the COVID-19 vaccinations are responsible for these explosion of turbo cancers throughout the world. And the autoimmune disease is wreaking havoc everywhere in everybody's fucking body system. But the mainstream media, as you know, tuck that under and try to duck it and run. They don't want Big Pharma to get upset at them because Big Pharma doesn't want this out anywhere. This has happened multiple times. I mean, come on. Cancer's probably been cured for fucking decades, but we're not going to get to know that because Big Pharma's got to have their money. They got to have their money. They're just not going to let us know the truth. They're never going to let us know the truth from Big Pharma. It's the money machine. And before I get into my little religion thing I want to talk about before I end, there was an adrenochrome whistleblower over there in Europe. Said Zelensky and other leaders, they're addicted to the children's blood. So when you see Zelensky tweaking, is it cocaine like we thought? Or could it be adrenochrome? I don't know. But the Russian, maybe they're going to say it's Russian disinformation. They're going to. Because supposedly, this is allegedly, of course, hundreds of Ukrainian children that were living in slavery, which I believe, were liberated by the Russian special forces, okay? Putin's adrenochrome task force. He's got a task force for this shit. Made a bunch of discoveries deep down inside the Ukraine. Said hundreds of children are degrading in a factory farm conditions. That's where kind of Russia's slow advances in, and Donetsk, I don't know how to pronounce it, Donetsk, whatever. So these Russian soldiers are finding kids with their real fucking sick, fragile looking. They're hooked up to IVs apparently on this, and it's drained of blood and adrenal fluid for the global adrenochrome trade. Now, they're saying that the adrenochrome industry in the Ukraine is larger than expected, and they said Putin wants to destroy the global adrenochrome supply and punish those committing crimes against children. But Putin's such a bad guy. He really is. That's what they say. So it's politicians and celebrities and all these guys that are getting all this, you can tell the black eye bullshit. We're not that stupid here. We're not that dumb in this country. We know you're in doing the devil's work. We know you're doing all that shit. That's where it becomes, again, between good and evil. And you got the Muslims thinking they're fucking right. You got Catholics thinking they're right. You got the Hindus and Buddhists and all this crazy shit. All we're doing is fighting over religion. Here's my thing on religion, and I would like to create, if I had the energy and just fortitude, and I had money, and I just wanted to be a person like this, I would have a church called the Church of Simplicity. Okay? Because being as I have Christian values, okay, I do. I believe that God is real. There's a God up there that created all. I even go as far as to believe in my Christian, but basically Baptist background, that Jesus was sent as the Son of God to die for the sins of people on earth. So that part of the Bible I'm all good with. But some of the other stuff, I just don't buy. The living in the whale for 3 days, the parting of the Red Sea, the turning water into wine, the ark stuff. I don't believe everything. And everybody said you have to believe it's the Word of God. No, I don't. I believe the main premise of the book, yes. I believe that's the core of it. And everything else got added by men on earth after the fact. That's okay. So my simplicity about religion is this. There's a being higher than us that controls all. But blowing somebody up's not getting me 72 virgins. There's nowhere in any book that can say me as a 55-year-old man should marry a 10-year-old girl like the fucking Muslims. There's nowhere in any kind of book that's going to convince me that I should blow myself up with an explosive device in the name of something called Allah. There's nothing in any book that's going to tell me that the hardest, anything other than living your life the best you can, to be a good person, to try not to be too much of an asshole, to try to make harmonious living in your realm of what you can do. That's my Church of Simplicity. That's my simplistic approach to religion right there. Don't be an asshole. That's my only commandment. Just try to be fucking kind. Why are you going to mass wars because you think one thing's good, one thing's bad, here's this is wrong? Look at all the different religion sects we have just in the country. Methodist, Lutheran, German Baptist, Free Will Baptist, Apostolic, Catholic, German Catholic, Roman Catholic. I mean, who's right? Who's wrong? I think the only people that are wrong in my book that are wrong 100% is the atheist. Because I know there's something. And the reason I know there's something higher than me is, and I will go down this line, I've personally felt that myself. I've personally felt it. Like, okay, I got the rush. I was floating on cloud 9. I went up to the altar, did my thing, and I was into religion for a while. Then I seen how organized religion worked and said, I want no part of that. But I kept my relationship with God. I believed in the core values of things. I believe the rest of the Bible was written after the fact for faith, hope, give stories to tell kids. But if you go by like the Old Testament, where these guys in Sharia law, whatever the hell they're talking about over there, you're stoning people and you're chopping shit off of people. And, it's just hardcore old school, like we're still living back then. No, you got to adjust with the times. mean, think about a story. You start on one side of the room, and you tell the next person to you the basic story of what it is. Jesus came down, died for our sins. I took him, God took him back. And, you got to be a nice person. You have to believe in God, believe in everything, and speak it that you believe it, and you'll go to heaven. As long as you be a decent person in your life. There's a lot of shit you can do and get repentance for. There's only the only main thing you can't is blasphemy. But these guys are stoning people to death, blowing themselves up for some reward. They think they're going to get 72 virgins. They're basically child abuse of little kids all over the world. How would that be a just God, God has to let it play out down here in my mind. I'm the Church of Simplicity. Now, I know that people are saying, oh, you're crazy, you're not a true Christian, blah, blah, blah. I believe what I believe. I believe what I believe, and that's what I'm going to believe. Now, and I'm not even going against them. Whatever the Muslims want to believe over there, the Catholics, the Lutherans, the Methodists, whatever you want to believe is fine. It's the same as anything else. Don't push it on me because I believe what I believe. You believe what you believe. But you can't go out of the boundaries of just believing something. When you start killing other people or, at least harming other people, but you're causing wars all over the world for religion? For something you're not going to experience in a human form? You guys are bonkers, batshit crazy. You're religious fanatics. That's why they say that. But you're saying Muslim's going to take over the world. Nah, Allah's not going to get spoken in my mind. Yeah, I guess they're going to come and kill me if they take over. I should go to heaven, because, hey, I believe in you. I do. I believe there's a God and basic Christian values. But I don't believe there would be a God that would send me down here to get down here. And once I find out about him, that's all I spend the rest of my life doing is praising God, trying to be this perfect, and nobody's perfect. And usually the ones that are supposedly trying to be the most perfect are the ones that fuck up the most. You priests with pedophilia. Most of the preachers' kids are the rowdiest of the bunch because they have it shoved down their fucking throat, and I just say, take the Mikey Brown commandment. Okay, don't be an asshole and try to be kind. Church of Simplicity, man. I think it's a good idea. Now, I know there's a lot of other people that are going to be cussing my name or telling me I need Jesus. I have Jesus, thank you. I don't need it. I'll have to tell you, he'll have to judge me for that. If I did the wrong things when I'm down here, I'll get judged for that on my own. You don't need to worry about judging me. You need to stay in your own fucking lane. You want to do your religion, any religion you want to do it. But when it causes, you're praying in the streets, blocking traffic, that's wrong. You can pray at any time. You don't have to make a big pomp and circumstance out of it with your damn little rugs and all that stupid, goofy stuff. I don't even agree with kneeling in the Catholic Church. It's okay. I got my opinions. You're going to have yours. But I'm not disrupting anybody else's life with my opinions on it. It's simple. You keep it simple. Simplicity is key here with religion. If we didn't have jihads and holy wars and all this bullshit and just general hatred of each other's religions, maybe, just maybe, the world would be a nicer place. Just maybe. But yeah, you'd have to get 9 billion people to go along with the Church of Simplicity. It's probably not going to get there. But that's how I'm going to live my life until I die. And then the only one that should be judging me can judge me up there. taking my chances with my religion, my commandments. I mean, I've been saved, baptized, the whole deal. But I refuse to just blindly believe everything that's being told and interpreted by man to be the truth when I have it in my heart what I need to do as a good person. And that's where I'm going to stay. I'm just not going to do it. But anyway, that's my little spiel on race, religion, some other things across the country and the world. So this one will be a short one. I do have another episode this weekend. So if you're around my channel and you're watching this one, yeah, there'll be another one out tomorrow. Would be the 17th, 18th, one of those 2 days. Well, yeah, most likely the 17th it'll be out. It might be out later tonight, but anyway. Always have to thank my silent partner, silent co-host, Mr. Fred Excelsior. Now, he's not on the Church of Simplicity. I don't want to get... That's my personal view there. Fred X to give me nothing to do with that. He's got his own religious beliefs, and I have mine. So, but we can get along. See, we don't have a holy war over it. But anyway, I got to thank Fred X as always. The 0 Hour 2021 at gmail.com, of course. The 0 Hours vlogs, blogs, and podcast on Facebook at the 0 Hours 23 on the Mighty X. So until next time, always trust and believe in your own convictions. And please, for the love of God, stay safe out there. The Church of Simplicity. We'll see you next time on another episode of the 0 Hours. Rest in peace, Chuckles, and peace out.